Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to bring you a video on better utilizing Cronometer or tracking in general for some of the recipes that people use. So the first thing that I'm going to do is share my screen with you so you can kind of see what's going on. All right. So I'm going to minimize myself here and share the screen. And I'm currently logged into Cronometer on my desktop. Now, you can do all the same things in desktop as you can using your mobile phone or the app. It'll also do the same thing. It's just easier for me to do the video this way. But one of the most common things that I hear when people are tracking their food is that if they're eating something that's really simple, that it's easier to track. But whenever they're creating actual recipes that have a bunch of different things in it, that they're struggling a little bit more to be able to track this and be accurate with it. And I'm going to show you a feature that you may not know exists that's really, really nice that I use quite a bit. It's been very helpful for me. And it's a recipe tracker. And I'll kind of tell you how I utilize it and the best ways for tracking food, in my opinion, creating a recipe. So this is on my Cronometer. I just picked a blank day. And the first thing that we need to do is you need to go into your foods. So if you're doing it from the desktop, you would come up here at the top and you would click on foods. And you would scroll down here and you've got custom recipes. And we're going to create a new recipe. So we're going to click create new recipe. Okay, so that brings this up. So the first thing that we need to do is just title the new recipe, whatever we want it to be. So in this example, I'm going to give you a turkey stew, which is something that my wife Amber has started creating recently, and I really enjoy it. It's super low calorie. You can feel free to utilize this this recipe if you'd like. But the thing is once we get these recipes put in here, you only have to do this once. And then if this is a recipe that you like and you use over and over again, you know that this is your specific recipe, because this is a turkey stew the way that we create it. If you use Cronometer or any of the other apps, tracking apps that are out there, and you just type in some sort of a general turkey stew, it could be night and day different calorie-wise, protein-wise, carbs, fats from what you're actually eating. So anytime that you're creating any type of a recipe, especially with us being creatures of habit, we eat a lot of the same stuff. It's really going to be important that you are putting this stuff in here, and then that way it's there for you to utilize anytime that you need. And so that we know that the way that we're tracking it is 100% accurate. So the first thing we do is just name it. So I'll just name it whatever I want. So Amber's turkey stew. All right, that's what I'm going to call it. If you want to put it in a specific category, you can. It's not required by any means. So here's soup, sauces, and gravies. I'll put it in as a soup. Okay, you can kind of make it however you want. If you want to put in your own notes, you can. Again, none of this really matters. I don't do the barcode stuff. We'll come back to the serving sizes. And what we need to do is right here under ingredients, we just need to click the plus sign. We're going to start adding ingredients. Now, there's multiple ways that you can do this. You can, if you've got the stuff in front of you, like one of the things that we put in there is these diced tomatoes. In this type of a situation, it's got the barcode on the back. You can scan the barcode in if you want to do that. One of the biggest reasons that I use Cronometer is because it is, in my opinion, the best app at tracking all of your micronutrients, all of your vitamins, and all of your minerals. And that's the biggest reason why I love using this. Here's the downside, is that if you scan a barcode, it will give you accurate numbers as far as calories, fats, proteins, carbs, and a couple of the basic micros, a couple basic vitamins and minerals. But the FDA does not require every company to list every vitamin and mineral that comes in their food. So if I was to just scan this in, it's not going to give me a lot of the vitamins and minerals that come with it because it's not required by the FDA. So what I tend to like to do in these situations is I find the same thing that's already listed in Cronometer and just make sure that my calories match up. So let me kind of explain how I do that. So in this one, if you can see this is petite diced tomatoes. This is one of the things that we use in there, okay? And then if you look on the back, you can see that one serving has about 25 calories, which is about a half a cup, and it has about 3.5 servings per container, okay? Whenever we make this stew, we use this entire can. So there's a couple different ways we can do it. One thing we can do is we can type in petite diced tomatoes. All right, and we can start to see here, we've got like the CRDB, which means that it's been scanned in. So you got Hunt's petite diced tomatoes. It's probably not gonna give us everything that we would want out of it. It's got only 15 listed nutrients in it, which we can click on that. if we wanted. But another thing that I'm going to do is I'm looking more for something a little bit that's not the CRDB. So instead, I'm just going to try diced tomatoes, still the same thing. And we're going to try typing in tomatoes canned. Because whether they are diced or not doesn't really matter. They're still going to be the same as far as macronutrients and whatnot. And I'm about to show you how to make it line up with this can anyway. So you can see now this says NCCDB, which means this is actually in their database. So NCCDB or USDA, either one of these that's got this little red thing next to it, means that you're going to get all of the information accurate, not just what the FDA requires, but every single vitamin and mineral that comes in a tomato. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is click tomato can. And of course I can, change by cup, large, serving, ounces, tablespoons, teaspoons, however I want to choose it. I want to make this be pretty accurate as far as what's in here. I know that I use this entire can. Okay. We know that we use this entire can. So I'm actually going to open up a calculator here real quick just to kind of show you what I'm doing. So if I open up this calculator, there's 25 calories per serving. And this thing has 3.5 servings total. So I know that if I use this whole can, because we're only using one can in this recipe, that it's going to be about 87.5 calories. So all I need to do is make this match 87.5. So if I do 2, that's 77. 2.2 is 84. 2.3, oops, one too many dots there, is 88. There we go. 87.5, 88 calories. So now, as I'm putting this in, I know that I'm going to be using the exact amount of calories that's in this can. Because if you get different ones, they're always different. Different brands may not have the exact same calorie count. This is how we know that every time, if this is what I typically use, which we buy a lot of the great value stuff because it's just as good, this is what we typically go with. So I know that there's 87.5 calories in this, and I'm now making this match 88 calories. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to add the serving. So the first thing that it does is it starts to update everything. It updates the total calories. It updates all these vitamins and minerals that we get out of utilizing all this and everything. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. One of the things that we put in it is a squash. Now, whenever you buy squash, this isn't going to have anything to scan. It's not going to have the information on it. So again, we're looking for like the NCCDB or USDA. So if I type in squash, we're doing a squash summer zucchini. Includes the skin because we put that in there. All right. So I'm going to click this. And then typically, you got the large size, you got medium. Usually we're going to do about 1 full medium squash. We're going to add that. So now you can see that both of these things are listed. We're going to go to the ingredients again. One of the other things that we do is we use canned green beans. All right. So I'm going to click on this one right here, green beans. Again, it says NCCDB. You can see down here the ESHA. That this thing means it's been scanned in. It doesn't give us the same amount. We're going to click on this. I don't have that can in front of me, all right, but I do know approximately what it comes out to. So, again, you can choose any of these however you choose to go with it. But I do know that. So if I close out, I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes on this. We're going to come back to it. So if you scroll down, you can see right here, I've already got the turkey stew. Here's everything listed. So right here, I've got it set at about 250 calories. We use 4 total cans of green beans whenever we're making this. So 4 total cans of green beans, the ones that we use equates to about 250 calories. So that's about 14 serving sizes. So we put that in there. 1 medium summer squash. We do 2 large zucchini. We do 1 serving of baby carrots. We do 1 small onion that we chop up and put in there. The canned tomato, which I already showed you a minute ago that I put in there. And then we also do an extra lean ground turkey, which equates to about 513.7. And we mix all this stuff together and we slow cook it for the day. So once you get all these things added in, you can scroll down and start to see how much is in. So this full recipe, so this whole thing equates to now 1,021 calories. It's got, as we scroll down, it's got about 102 carbs. It's got about 18 grams of fat. It's got about 134 grams of protein. And we can see, if we choose to look at it, we can see the percentages of what we're getting. It's got 260% of our B1, 40% of our B12. Start scrolling through. It's got 354% of our vitamin C, 81% of our calcium needs. You know, it's starting to calculate all these things for us. Now, this is for the entire recipe. Now, granted, I don't eat the entire bowl in one setting. So what you can do is you can come up here, and to do one serving, you can say how many servings does it equate to. So you can make up whatever number, but essentially, let's say if this makes 5 servings. So one whole bowl comes to 5 servings, we would put that in. And so now if we click this down arrow and click on serving, we can see this. So if we take that entire bowl, split it up equally into 5 parts, it's going to be about 204 calories. This is everything that it gets. Everything's put in there. And now this whole thing is all saved. So whenever we go back to our diary and we want to add this in, you click on add food. There's multiple things you can do. You can just type in turkey stew if you wanted, which it shows up right there. Or the other thing you can do is you can just come over here to custom. And this is all the custom stuff that I put in here. And right here, turkey stew is listed. So we'll click turkey stew, 1 serving, because I already set the serving size for me. Because that entire thing, remember I said makes about 5 servings total. So if I split it up into 5 servings, I can click 1 serving and click add. Or if I end up having 2 of those servings and I click add. So we now know that based on how I cook it and everything that I put in there, this is how it came up. So anytime that I do and reuse this turkey stew, if I do it again at some other point and I want to use it, or if I have it 2 days in a row, it's already in the system. Once it's in there once, I never have to go back in and put it in a second time. And then you can also go back to foods. You can scroll back down and click on the turkey stew that's here. And I've got all these in here. At this point, I can go in and delete out any of these that I want or make changes. So if I make this and I'm like, you know what, I really want to have some more protein in it, or I can't taste enough of the turkey, so I want to rework it to where now I'm going to have, 600 calories worth of it. I can go in here and update this and say, all right, now I want 15 ounces of turkey. And it's now been re-updated based on the same serving size, based on this, all the totals, everything stays the exact same. And then this way I can make any changes. I can change them, revert changes, kind of do whatever I want. I'm going to revert them because I'm not changing this. But this is how this is all set up, and it makes things so much easier. It may seem a little complicated at first, but once you roll through it, you move through this pretty quick. And like I said, if there are certain recipes that you use on a regular basis with yourself or with your family or anything like that, you can start putting them in here, and it makes it way easier to be accurate on using a recipe that includes multiple different things. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you will utilize this function. It's been really great for me whenever I utilize it. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out and let me know. But that's it.